What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Full Circle Podcast. I'm your host, Joel White, aka Coach Joel, aka the handle of whatever social media platform uh, outlet that you found me on. We're back, episode number 8. Solo episode this time. I know the last 2 episodes I had some of the homies on the podcast. Definitely plan on doing some more of that, but I just gotta. It's been a while since I did a solo episode, so we're back doing a little solo episode. Got some stuff planned coming up in the future. I finally got a second one of these, a second studio mic, so that'll be nice moving forward with guests on the podcast, so I won't have to use those shitty $20 TikTok shop mics anymore. So that'll be nice. And yeah, other than that, we're back. As you can see, we're back in the nice little this isn't really, I guess you could call it like I don't even want to call it a studio, but we're back in this nice little setup, man. I like this little setup. It's cozy. And yeah, I made some more additions. I think I'm gonna keep adding some more stuff. I got my little Jesus guy over here. I got these two little, I don't know if you can see it from this far, but Punisher and the Daredevil from the Marvel comics. Those are my things, bro. I'm a big nerd. Yeah, dude, I just got done watching Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Banger, bro. Absolute banger. All the Daredevil shows are honestly peak. Absolute cinema, bro. Even the ones that were so if you're a fan of the MCU, you know that Netflix came out with it was Iron Fist, Daredevil, The Punisher, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. And those were the they called them the Defenders or whatever, but it was outside of the MCU. Those came out like in 2016, 2017. They were released on Netflix, and those shows are those shows are great. Honestly, I think that they're better than anything that like Disney Plus has came out with in recent years. But yeah, I just got done watching the new Daredevil season, bro. Absolute peak. I think it was better than the first season in my opinion of Born Again. But it doesn't. I don't even think it touches all the old Netflix ones. But yeah, sorry, kind of went off there. But other than that, I know what you're thinking. Holy shit, that's a horrible tan line. And yeah, bro, I don't really know what to say. You're just gonna have to kind of bear with me a little bit. I didn't want to break the streak of wearing the white beater, so you're just gonna have to kind of suck it up for this episode. I got it working youth football. As I explained, I think it was like the first episode. On Saturdays, I work youth football. So I was outside. It's like 100 degrees in Vegas right now. Didn't wear sunscreen. Should have been wearing sunscreen. And just got cooked, bro. My arms, like, it's crazy, bro. My whole torso is like pasty ass white. But once you get to my arms, it's like, I don't know, bro. I look like a whole different color. One of my homies said I look like a Muscle Bob Buff Pants. So if you guys don't know what that is, it's from from SpongeBob when he has the fake arms. But yeah, it's actually one of the worst tan lines I think I've ever had. This is really bad, bro. Like really bad. I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but yeah, if you saw my TikToks, it's pretty bad. I'm trying my best to get rid of it, so just bear with me. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I just like go lay out in the sun and just cover my arms and just burn my torso or what. But bear with me. I'm trying to get it fixed. So we'll see, man. But let's hop right into the episode. You know how solo episodes go. To start it out, we're gonna hop into a quick Bible verse. So let's talk about Romans 8:18. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Like I stated previously before, you don't need to necessarily be a follower of Christianity to take bits and pieces of philosophy away from what is said in the Bible. But moving into the quote, let's break it down a little bit, man. We all struggle. That's a fact. As I grow older, I meet more people, and I realize, like, you see the world for what it really is. And the more you realize everybody struggles, and like everybody has their own set of problems and hardships that they have to face. But I feel like what really matters is how you respond when you're faced with like adversity, hardships, or problems or anything like that. You know, when you're faced with stuff like that and you're faced with suffering, I think that there's only one thing that can really get you through the hardships and all the suffering, and that's hope. Sometimes our suffering seems so just unbearable to the point where we kind of lose sight of hope sometimes. That's just human nature. I know I've done it before. I know a lot of you probably have done it before. But that's why it's important to stand strong in your faith and lean on God in times of hardship. Or, if you're not religious, then lean on yourself and your own philosophies. Quotes like this and quotes like Romans 8:18 here, they kind of just serve to us as a reminder that everything is going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it is not the end. Like it says in the quote, the sufferings of the present are not worthy to be compared to the glory within. So, yeah. I talk about this. I bring this up. I do know I haven't really touched too much on it yet because I haven't really had the chance to kind of have a solo episode yet in the month of May. But, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I just want to touch on that briefly. If, you're struggling mentally, whatever age group you're in, mental health is something it's across every demographic. A lot of people struggle with it. And to be honest, I'm not sure why, but I have a feeling that it's definitely more prominent in today's society. I don't know if it's because we're becoming more aware of it or if there's more outside factors that kind of play into it. I actually did a research paper on it for one of my classes this year, and it was a research paper on why mental health rates are declining in adolescent teenagers. I learned a bunch of stuff. I was reading some statistics that were pretty concerning. Numbers are going up, and yes, the awareness side of it is a reason, but it's indirect. Obviously, the more aware you become of it, the more cases come up. But the biggest thing, man, is just I feel like it's really just taking care of yourself, bro. If you struggle with mental health, I'm no therapist, but please take the time to take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and get the proper help that you need. And yeah, that's really all I got. I think I'm very strongly opinionated on mental health and getting help and getting the help that you deserve. So I hope y'all can understand where I'm coming from on that. And I just wanted to touch on that. So yeah, anyway, let's hop right into the episode. So today for this episode, I want to go into my top 5 NBA players of all time. Now, I know this is pretty controversial. A lot of lunchroom conversations at school back in the day with this topic, but I'm going to present to you guys what I would present to that lunch table back in the day. And I want to hear what you guys have to think about it. So if you guys want to let me know what your top 5 is, or if you agree or disagree with what I have in my top 5, then we could talk about it. But anyway, let's hop in. Let me clarify what I mean by my top 5. What I mean by my top 5 is top 5 greatest players of all time. So I'm not just specifically talking about, influence, because that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not specifically just talking about scoring or longevity or whatever. I'm kind of talking about just overall greatness, everything, all of those combined into one, into what makes a great player. That's what I'm talking about. So let's break into my top 5. So let's start at the 5 spot, bro. At the 5 spot, I'm going to go with 4-time NBA champion, 15-time NBA All-Star, and the most dominant and greatest center to ever grace the game of basketball for now, Shaquille O'Neal at the 5. 3 out of his 4 NBA championships came with Finals MVP awards, not to mention his MVP award in 2000, which was also the same year that he won All-Star MVP and Finals MVP. He was a 2-time NBA scoring title holder, and the list just goes on and on. He's 9th all-time in points, 6th in field goals, 15th in rebounds, and 8th in blocks. So I don't know. I feel like just based on his overall dominance and the way that he was able to dominate the game, like from even just a physical stature standpoint of it, bro. He was, well, how tall? He was like 7'1". Let's look. Like just from a physique standpoint of it, bro, he was 7'1" and he weighed damn near 400 pounds. Like that's just unstoppable. And if you watch, I wasn't alive when, or I think I was alive like towards the end of Shaq's career, but like in his prime, no clue. But you know, I've seen the clips and I've seen the highlights, and I have watched game film on him and obviously like Kobe when they were winning the championships and stuff. So from what I've seen, it was just pure overall dominance. I think he's the greatest center to ever play. Well, mm, he's definitely the most dominant player in NBA history, which is why I have him at the 5 spot. Like there's nobody that's probably more unguardable than Prime Shaq. There's just nothing you can do. His overall dominance just gives him a spot on the 5 spot. But anyway, let's hop into the 4 spot. And I feel like that this might be a little controversial to some. Some might not even consider him the best power forward of all time. And I think that if you don't consider him the best power forward of all time, you're just you just don't know ball, bro. Um, the number 4, I'm gonna go with the greatest power forward to ever walk the planet. I'm gonna go with the big fundamental Tim Duncan. Right, Spurs legend, 5-time NBA champion, 3-time Final MVP. Not to mention his 2 MVP awards, accompanied by his 15 NBA All Star appearances and his 15 NBA All Defensive Team selections. And honestly, the accolades on this guy, it just goes, the list goes on and on, bro. The list goes on and on. His longevity was pretty unmatched too. He played a really long time in the league. I think he might have been I think top 5 in all time games played. And he's the big fundamental, bro. In my opinion, he just played the game the right way. And this is me being unbiased. I know I'm a Spurs fan, so. But regardless, this is me being unbiased. Yes, in terms of power forwards, I think he's better than Dirk. And who else would even compare? He's better than Karl Malone, in my opinion. I really don't like Karl Malone for other reasons. I guess you could give him some props as a basketball player, but not a great guy. But I don't know. I'm gonna give the 4 spot to Tim Duncan. I think he's okay. So he's 16th all time in scoring. He's 6th all time in all time rebounds, 5th in all time blocks, and top 10 in all time games played. I mean, the dude was just unstoppable. And even I don't know. I feel like yes, he did have some good players around him. Obviously with the Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, and I think he played with David Robinson at some point too, and he played with all these great guys. Kawhi Leonard. I mean, that 2013, 2014 Spurs team was ridiculous. Like crazy, bro. I mean, that's the team that beat the Miami Heat. So, and that was like peak LeBron. So, I I think, and he was the main reason why we were so good, in my opinion. That's when I started watching basketball. The whole reason why I'm a Spurs fan is because when I first started playing NBA 2K in 2013, and the Spurs were the first team that I played with. So that's why I'm a Spurs fan. But that's when when you first load up 2K, you can only play with the 2 teams that are in the championship. So it was the Heat and it was the Spurs. So I played with the Spurs, and in 2013 I was 7 years old. So that's the team that I stuck with, and I've been a Spurs fan even after we traded everybody. Like Tony Parker went to the Hornets, Ginobili retired, Kawhi went to the Raptors. Uh, we had LaMarcus Aldridge era for a little bit. Tim Duncan retired, and we had like that DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge era when we were the worst in the league for the longest. And yeah. Anyway, I'm getting off track. But yeah, so now I got Shaq at my 5. I got Tim Duncan at my 4. So let's get into who I have at the 3 spot. So at the 3 spot, I got to pay my respects to 6-time NBA championship, 6-time NBA champ, and 6-time MVP award winner, which is insane. Got to go at who was at one point the all-time NBA leading scorer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, you want to talk about accolades, bro. This list was ridiculous. When I was doing research on this, the it was ridiculous. I mean, even when go back to college, I understand, and I'll get into that a little bit later in terms of like what the eras were like. I get that, bro. But still, Kareem is just unmatched. And I feel like when it comes to scoring and like when people discredit Wilt's like 100-point game, I don't think people truly understand like how hard it is to score. I mean, how many career points did Kareem have? Hold on. So Kareem had 38,387 career points, which is just that's absurd, bro. And I feel like people discredit like high scoring games. Like people were trying to discredit Bam Adebayo's 83-point game. People try to discredit Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. Bro, I feel like you could throw me in a game with a bunch of dudes in some wheelchairs, and it's still going to be hard for me to throw up 100 points. It's going to be hard for anybody to throw up 100 points, bro. That's at least 50 baskets that you have to score in how much time? Like, however long the games are. NBA games are, what, 48 minutes, 12-minute quarters, 15-minute quarters? I'm blanking right now. Anyway, but like even like high school games, I don't know what the times were back then either, but people discredit how difficult it actually is to score a lot of points, bro. Because at the end of the day, you still got to get buckets. You still got to knock down your shots. You still got to like that to some degree takes a lot of skill. And for people that discredit Wilt's like 100-point game, I don't really get it because I understand, Wilt was just a freak anomaly and he was playing against like the real plumbers. But I mean, bro, even you could take 9 dudes off just pick them off the street right now. I believe this. You could pick 9 dudes off the street right now and you could pick like your average like high school basketball player or whatever. Pros and college players a little bit different, but even like college players, bro, and they would still probably in a game, like a 40-minute game, those high level guys against like 5 decent like athletes would probably throw up only like 30 to 40. And then obviously once you get to your pros, they'll probably throw up more and stuff. But like at this time, these guys were considered pros. So I don't know. I feel like to discredit the 100-point game, and then even with Bam's 83, I know he shot a lot of free throws or whatever, but that's besides the point. He still threw up however many points he threw up, which was impressive. And obviously, with Bam's, he's playing in a new era, in the new era, which is arguably the best era of basketball that's ever been played, arguably. But yeah, so I feel like when we talk about scoring, you got to throw Kareem. I'm getting off track, but yeah, we got to throw Kareem. He was number 1 at all-time scoring at one point. We cannot discredit him for that. But now obviously he's second in all-time scoring. He's third in all-time rebounds, third in all-time blocks, and third in all-time games played. So his longevity was another factor in it. And yes, I do believe that longevity plays a factor in whether or not how good of a basketball player you are in terms of career and professionals. So yeah, and obviously, like I said, his accolade list goes on and on. I think he's had 19 NBA All-Star Game selections, which is just crazy. So yeah, so now we got Shaq at the 5, Tim Duncan at the 4, Kareem at my 3. Let's get into the 2 spot. This is where the debate gets a little bit juicy. I know the old heads aren't really going to agree with this, but we could really sit here and argue about this. At my 2 spot, I'm going to go with Mr. 6 for 6, 6-time NBA champion, 5 of which Finals MVP awards. I'm going to go with Michael Jordan, man, at my 2. When you think about the sport of basketball across any demographic, like international, if you tell someone or you ask someone, do you know what basketball is and can you name an NBA player? The first person they're probably going to say is Michael Jordan. So, you think Michael Jordan, man, you just can't even deny like his greatness. 10 scoring titles, 14 All-Star selections, 6 MVP selections, which like Kareem, 6 MVP selections is crazy. And obviously as you progress through the NBA's timeline, like the I believe the competition gets better. So yes, you cannot discredit his MVPs. And he also did win a Defensive Player of the Year award, obviously. He ranks fifth in all-time points and fourth in all-time steals, and his greatness just cannot be denied, man. I mean, and yes, influence does play a part in this. Like I said earlier, if you go ask anybody around the world and they don't really know basketball, but you ask them if they know basketball and about the sport, and do they know what the NBA is, and you ask them to name one NBA player, they're probably gonna say Michael Jordan. There's a couple other guys that they might say, obviously, that are super popular. They might say LeBron, they might say Steph Curry, they might say Kobe, but I feel like the number one guy, especially across like the older demographics too, they're gonna say Michael Jordan, man. I mean, he put the game on the map. Him, Magic, and Bird all put the game on the map like globally, bro. Um, yeah. So let's go back. We got Shaq at the 5, Tim Duncan at the 4, Kareem at the 3, Michael Jordan at the 2, and then at my 1, you cannot deny Michael Jordan's greatness. But his greatness does fall short to one man, bro. The greatest basketball player to ever touch a basketball. 4-time NBA champion, 4-time final MVP, 4-time MVP of the league, 21 All-Star selections, and the NBA all-time leading scorer. You know, the 6'9", 250-pound walking specimen. That is LeBron James at the number 1. LeBron, I feel like LeBron is arguably just one of the greatest athletes to ever walk this earth. When you compare even LeBron to Jordan, bro, you just have to look at it. I believe Michael Jordan was what? He was 6'6". Hold on. Jordan was, let's look at his peak. If I could find it. Oh, here it goes. He was 6'6" and almost 200 pounds. I'm not hating, but you know, athlete wise, when you have someone that's 6'9", 250 pounds that can move and jump and do all these things like LeBron James can do, that just attests to how he is arguably one of the greatest athletes to just ever walk this earth, period, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm sounding like I'm glazing right now. I don't think I am, because I think that that's genuinely true. But I mean, like, in terms of athletes and what it means like to be athletic, I think it's like LeBron, maybe Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps. Like, he's in the conversation with those guys when it comes to like athletes. And I don't think Michael Jordan is remotely in that conversation, to be quite honest with you. And yes, I know Michael Jordan could jump out the gym and he was extremely fast, but so can LeBron. But LeBron, like, just as a specimen, the way that LeBron does it is just, it's better, bro. And so obviously with that being said, yes, LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. LeBron James at the age of 41 is still one of the most dominant players in the league. Not to mention, you know, his own sperm plays on the court with him, which is just insane. I mean, yes, and I believe that too attributes to his greatness, his longevity, and the fact that he also has a kid that plays on the same team as him. I mean, even with the influence thing, bro, same thing I said about Michael Jordan. If you go ask anybody, even internationally or even in the States, and they don't really watch basketball like that, they know who LeBron James is. And yeah, you know, and so to the longevity standpoint of it, MJ was 41 years old, and he was what? I think he was playing on the Wizards at that time. You know, but he was sure as hell not playing to the same level of greatness that LeBron is playing at right now too, and the same level of dominance. So I don't know, man. Like, the whole championship argument, I believe, is a factor in the debate. Obviously, Michael Jordan went 6 for 6. I believe LeBron is 4 for 10. Let me fact check that real quick. Yeah, he's been to the NBA Finals 10 times in his career. He's won 4. I believe it was 2 with the Heat, one with the Cavs, and then one with the Lakers. So 3 different teams he won championships with. Um, and Michael Jordan obviously won 6 rings with 6. He went 6 for 6, went to 6 finals and won 6. Um, but I think everybody discredits LeBron's. I don't know how you can even discredit LeBron's rings. I mean, the one in 2016, the Miami Heat rings, cool. Those were good rings. It was dominant. The Heat were unstoppable. I mean, like with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Mario Chalmers, like Udonis Haslem, like those guys, that team was unstoppable. That was a really great team, and they deserved to win those championships. They did, obviously they lost to the Spurs, and who else? They lost to like the Mavericks and stuff too, I think, right? Like I don't know. But anyway, so then when you talk about championships, bro, let's talk about 2016. I believe it was 2015 to 2016 that season when the was it 2015, 2016? I think it was. Yeah, because 2016, 2017 was when the Warriors won with Kevin Durant. Besides the point. Wait. Actually, let me fact check that. When did LeBron win the championship with the Cavs? That was okay. It was the 2015-2016 season. I mean, dude, when you beat the team that they went 73-9, like arguably one of the best teams ever assembled and put together, and you're down 3-1 in the finals, and you come back and you win, and you look at LeBron's teams. I know that people say that his team really wasn't that bad. Obviously, he had his sidekick, Kyrie Irving, and I believe Kevin Love was just a little bit out of his prime when he was playing with the Cavs. Obviously, he was still playing really good, but he wasn't doing what he was doing when he was in Minnesota, in my personal opinion. But besides the point. And then who else after that? You know, like J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, was Kyle Korver might have been on that team. Matthew Dellavedova, dog, by the way. But compared to like the Warriors, bro, where it was, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. I think Maurice Spates was the center at that time. Leandro Barbosa, dudes like that, like an overly stacked Warriors team. Compared to the Cavs, bro. I mean, it was like hydrogen bomb versus crying baby. That's what that was. But LeBron locked in, got the dub with that one. And then I believe people discredit the bubble ring a little bit too much. And here's my opinion on the bubble. I think that when we went on lockdown and we were playing, and people were playing, the NBA was playing basketball in the bubble. I think that was the purest form of basketball that you could have possibly seen, because there were no fans, and it was kind of just like one big AAU tournament, obviously with the same rules and restrictions in the NBA, but it was like one big AAU tournament just in the hotel with NBA players. And it was nothing but pure hoops, in my opinion. And that's why you saw guys that were like kind of like weird role guys that were having like these big games. Like TJ Warren, like bubble TJ Warren is unmatched because there's no fans, and it's nothing but just pure hoops, which is like, to me, I thought it was like I said, it was just the purest form of basketball. And I think that it was a beautiful thing, and I liked what the league did, and I thought that it was and I think that if anything, that makes LeBron's ring that he won in 2020 more legit, because it was nothing but pure hoops. That the team, they beat the Heat in the finals, I believe, and that Lakers team was really good, bro. But so was that Heat team. That Heat team was pretty nice. But like I said, people discredit that ring. I think that's an invalid argument. And I think that if you discredit that ring, I think you just simply do not know ball, bro. But yeah. Anyway, going back to the argument of LeBron versus MJ, one of the biggest things, in my opinion, that sets the two apart was the rules. Like, the rules were literally different in the MJ era compared to the LeBron era. Obviously, when MJ was in the league, there was no help defense. It was a foul. If I forgot what the foul specifically was called, but if you left your man to go play help defense, like, that was considered a foul. Obviously, that rule changed in the LeBron era. So, with LeBron having to deal with that, why does that not contribute to his greatness? And he still managed to be number one in all-time scoring. And the skill level of which the NBA was compared to what it was in like the 80s, 90s, compared to what it was in the 2000s, all the way to what it is now, is just levels. There's just genuinely so many levels to it, bro. I mean, the average, I think that the average like role player now in the NBA, dudes like, I wouldn't say role player, but I would say like your guys like let's see, like if you threw like Jamal Murray on a team in the 80s, he's just gonna dominate, bro. Like it's the skill difference between then and now is just it's unmatched, bro. But anyway, yeah, that's my top five, bro. So I got Shaq at the 5, Tim Duncan at the 4, Kareem at the 3, MJ at the 2, LeBron at the 1. And I know what you're thinking. I know a lot of people have Kobe in their top 5, or Bill Russell with his 11 championships, or Magic Johnson. I don't even think Magic Johnson personally is the best point guard of all time. I think Steph Curry is the best point guard of all time. So if you're going to put a point guard in the top 5, you're going to have to put Curry in the top 5. And I think Curry might finish top 5 at the end of his career, but yeah, I don't know. With the Kobe, I know a lot of people usually put Kobe at their 3s. And I love Kobe, man. Like I've watched so much film on Kobe. I have like a whole folder with like stacks of notes of just breaking down like his game. And his greatness like is undeniable. Kobe's easily top 10, but to put him in the top 5 and like put him above the guys like Shaq and Tim Duncan, like those, I just can't do it, bro. I just can't. And like scoring wise, he's got those guys, but I think all around, all those other guys kind of contribute more things than like what Kobe did. And Bill Russell, yes, he won 11 rings, and he was kind of in the same conversation as like Wilt. I don't think that if you put them in the league like today that they would be as great as they were. I think they'd still be good, but I don't think they would still be as great. I don't think they would win 11 championships today. But yeah, so that's my top 5. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. And I think that there is genuinely one man that will eventually be better than all the players that I just named right now, if he can remain healthy for the remainder of his career. And that is the 7'5" French alien that is Victor Wembanyama, bro. I mean, the closest thing you have to Victor Wembanyama, in my opinion, that we've ever seen is like Kevin Durant, like the Slim Reaper, like the 7-footer that can just do everything, bro. I mean, listen to this stat, through 175 games, Victor Wembanyama already has more points than Larry Bird. He has more rebounds than Charles Barkley, more blocks than Hakeem Olajuwon, more steals than Kobe. And get this one, bro. Through 175 games, Victor Wembanyama has more three-pointers made than what Steph Curry did through 175 games. If that's not like alarming to you, and like, because that's another thing, is there's just nothing you can do to stop like Victor Wembanyama, bro. Like that's why I said if he can stay healthy, because I genuinely fear for his health and safety, especially watching like the playoff games that have been happening now in the series against the Thunder, bro. Like you have to play Wemby, you have to play him so aggressively, because there's just nothing. That's the only thing you can do. You can't get over the top to block his shot. You know what I mean? It's hard to disrupt him. He's fast. He can move. He can shoot the 3. I mean, that shot that he had in game 1 was just like, my goodness, bro. How big of a penis do you have to shoot in overtime, come down and just take a pull-up 3 from damn near the like that's that Curry shit, bro. Like that was insane. And I think that, like I said, if he stays healthy throughout the remainder of his career, he will end up as the greatest basketball player to ever walk, in my opinion. But time will tell, and we'll see. And that's like I said earlier, I'm unbiased as a Spurs fan, so we'll we'll see about that, bro. I don't think there's anyone in the league that has more potential to be as great as Wemby, in my personal opinion. There are guys that are great and that'll probably finish top 10, top 5 all time. I think Jokic is going to be one of those guys that does that. Obviously, Steph Curry probably will at the end of his career too. But other than that, Wemby, future GOAT. And yeah, anyway, that's my top 5. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. That's all I really got for y'all today. Yeah, I appreciate if y'all made it to the end. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. For 10 years of good luck. And other than that, yeah, like I said, appreciate y'all for watching. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.